Odyssey station. Investor Schooling Live with Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhaus on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Good morning and welcome to Investor Schooling Live. Coming to you from Investor Schooling headquarters. I'm Phil Falcone here with my business partner, Larry Steinhaus. We are the founders of Investor Schooling. Get ready to learn real estate investing and stock option trading. Call us anytime during the show at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. We are a live program, so you can call us anytime during the show, and we will take your calls. Don't even worry about what we're talking about because we love to take our callers. Investor Schooling is located in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, serving the Philadelphia area in a real brick-and-mortar building. We are local guys, accessible to our students, a minimum of 2 nights per week. You want to learn this business? The business of real estate investing and stock option trading? Learn it from people who live it every day. That's us, investorschooling.com. So, first, let's announce that we are now on Saturday at 10 a.m. until several months from now. Let's say that.
Until April.
That's the best we know of, okay? We're going to be talking about real estate investing. We're going to be talking about stock option trading. We're going to be talking about financial literacy. So don't go anywhere, because we're not going anywhere. We're a live program for 1 hour.
We can't go anywhere. Well, I guess we could, right? Couldn't we just walk out and leave, and then just leave PHT with nothing broadcasting?
I suppose we could, and in some cases that might be an improvement.
And sometimes it might be. Absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. I agree. By the way, if you're online and you want to leave comments on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, feel free to leave comments. Also, I think I said YouTube already. Yeah, you can leave comments and we'll say hi. Hi, Tommy. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys watching as always. And if you want to call in, it's always fun to call in on this show. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. I want you guys to call in and talk to us about what's going on in your life with real estate, stock options, or any money that you're trying to make. So, Phil, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling pretty good because I got an ice pack on my knee and it's totally numb.
Really? Oh, that's good. You actually, it's funny, you don't look, and I hate to say it, but you always look like you're in pain. And this very moment, you don't look like you're in pain. But maybe that's just because
I can't feel my knee.
Maybe it's because you're talking to me. Maybe that's why.
No, you very rarely ever bring me comfort.
Well, that's what I figured. That's why I was confused.
Well, ice does the trick. I don't like taking those pharmaceutical drugs they give you, so...
No, I can understand that. I don't like that either. They're not good at all. Plus, you could easily get addicted to them.
Well, they didn't give me enough to probably get addicted to them, but I've just never been that kind of a guy.
Right, I understand.
I'd rather just take the pain.
Yeah, sometimes I'll take Tylenol, and when I'm really bad, I'll do the codeine one, but it's got to be really bad for me to do the codeine one.
The way I've been dealing with my knee problems is just icing it. So I just freeze my knee.
There you go.
3-4 times a day. I just freeze it.
Excellent. Yeah, for you guys who don't know, Phil had one of his knees replaced. He's going to have the other one replaced, in about a month or so, right?
I'm not sure. I go to meet the doctor on Monday, but put it this way, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm sure you're not looking forward to it, especially, it didn't sound like you knew it was going to be this painful afterwards.
No,
the way we talked before.
I did know I had 2 ACLs before, which is very similar to what they did to me this time. Mm-hmm. This time was a knee replacement, but back in the day I tore an ACL, which is almost like a rope that holds your femur to your calf bone, mm-hmm. right? And they basically tear a hamstring muscle out, twist it up like a rope, and they screw it into your femur and into your calf, and that's how they hold your knee together.
I know. I have to go to the bathroom and regurgitate right now.
Yeah, I know. But it's pretty brutal. I'm literally in pain 24 hours a day.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's got to be rough.
Not excruciating pain, but sometimes it is. But you're in some level of pain 24 hours a day.
Wow. That's rough.
Yeah, it is, and I got to do it again.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I'm dreading it, but
So just so you guys know, you can make all the money you want, but you're still going to be in pain now and then.
All right, well, let's talk about money a little bit.
I like money.
Yeah, I do too.
Why
don't we
by the way,
start-
somebody online, I don't know who it is, but somebody online said, smoke weed.
Yeah, I did back in high school. I smoked about a truckload of it, but it's not for me. I prefer a little alcohol. That usually helps me.
All right, next time I'll have a drink ready for you.
Yeah. So let's get into some real estate. I want to talk about fall in love with the deal, not the property.
Yeah, this is a big problem. I've seen this before where people they see this house down the street and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to buy that house." And 6 months later, they're still saying, "I'm going to buy that house. I'm going to buy that house." They haven't even spoken to the owner yet.
Well, let me clarify something about this statement. If you are falling in love with a house that you intend to live in, I have absolutely no problem with that. But we're talking about investment properties here. So when I say fall in love with the deal, not the property, I mean that the property may be beautiful, you may be incredibly impressed with it, but it's an investment property. It should be about the numbers. It should be about your capability to rent it and things of that nature, where the math makes sense for you to make a profit from it. It should not be about whether or not you love the property or not.
Hey, Phil, we got somebody on the line who I guess doesn't want to give their first name. So what do you think? Should we talk to Mr. Engstrom?
Sure, why not?
What's going on, Engstrom?
Latorio.
Who is it?
Latorio.
Latorio. Is that why you didn't want to give it to, you didn't want to give your name to Henry? You thought he wouldn't know how to spell it?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes people don't know how to spell my name.
So how can we help you, Latorio? What's going on?
I have a real estate agent in Pennsauken Township. I was wondering, how is that possible for him to do real estate in another state if I wanted to move to another state? Is that possible for him to do that?
So you have a real estate agent?
I have to have another real estate agent?
You have a real estate
Or
agent?
I have to have another real estate agent?
You probably will have to have another real estate agent to answer your question.
Okay, that was my question, my sole question.
Yeah, the only way you could stick with one agent is if the agent was licensed in the state you're leaving from and the state you're going to, and that's rather difficult. Anyway, you probably don't want to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, suppose you want to move to
No,
Florida, for
I did have a house in Philadelphia, real estate in Philadelphia. And I didn't know those same real estate agent is paid for it, though, so I didn't really have a real estate agent.
All right, man. We
paid in full.
Yeah, we appreciate the call, man. Good luck on your move.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
All right. So what do you got to say about fall in love with the deal, not the property?
Well, I'll give you a really good example, and I'm going to use our new engineer, Omri, as an example.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Omri, say hello to everybody. You can push the talk button to say hello. I don't even know if you could do that. You are a very bad example. So yesterday, Omri and I we wanted a partner on this property that we wanted to buy in Ivyland. It was actually a really nice property. I don't want to get too deep into the conversation. And we had some really cool plans for it. Mm-hmm. But I got to tell you, we walked through it, and I don't think the plans are going to work. And Omri had, for every hour after we looked at it, sent me text messages going, let's buy it, let's buy it, let's buy it, let's buy it, let's buy it. And I got to tell you, I don't think the numbers are going to work. I don't think the deal is going to work. I think it's going to be very, very expensive to renovate, and I don't like it. But Omri is all over it.
I know the property you're talking about. I'd be worried about it falling down.
Well, falling down, I'm not worried about it falling down. In fact, the funny part about it, not only am I not worried about it falling down, I actually believe that thing will stand forever and it'll be impossible to knock down because I saw how it was built. It's the outside, like the sheathing that's coming off, but the actual construction of that building, that's not coming down. That's going to take major amount of work to take that building down.
Yeah, it probably would take something like a train running by it 3 times a day. That's probably all it would take. The shaking from a train that's located about 7 feet away from the building. Something like that, say 3 to 5 times a day. That should pretty much do it.
Well, it's funny, but the bones of the building would not come down. I mean, it's amazing what was in there. It was actually really interestingly built. as I start to get into it. But I got to tell you, I mean, it's just the way the layout's terrible. Everything about it is terrible. It was built perfectly for what they needed it for, I don't know, 150, 200 years ago, whenever they built it. And now it's just not the right one. But he's all over the deal. He's all over the property. I look at the deal, and I just can't see it happening. So that's a really great example of what you're saying. Don't fall in love with the property. Fall in love with the deal. Yes. Yeah, it is kind of interesting that everybody who buys this property has these great expectations of what they're going to do with it, and they end up doing nothing with it.
Well, I actually did business with the guy who owned that operation.
Which one? The current one, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
The fireplace guy. I did
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, I
did
know
a
what you
deal
mean.
with
Yeah,
him
yeah.
maybe like 8 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And, he's a pretty decent guy. Expensive. His stuff is
Right.
expensive, but my fireplace I bought off of him is working fine and still great. So
Hey, if you need parts for it, there's a whole bunch of parts in there.
I bet there is. I bet there is.
We saw that.
They're probably falling off the wall every time the train comes by.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Exactly.
This property literally has a train that runs by it.
Well, there's actually a train car parked behind it, a caboose parked behind it that comes with the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could turn it into maybe even an Airbnb. You could live in a train caboose, you know?
Tell you what, I had some ideas about that property myself. Larry, you're old enough to. Did you ever go to the barn in Ben Salem?
The barn in Ben Salem.
It used to be a really fun club.
No.
You never heard of it?
No, I probably didn't live in the area when it was out.
Yeah, okay. Well, when I was in my 20s, that club was totally awesome. It had it was like some guy had bought it like in the early 1900s, and he was like a real partier, and he used to have a lot of he used this barn for parties. And somebody bought it like in the 80s and turned it into a nightclub, and It was a blast. Like they had live music on one floor. They had an outside section you could walk out in the summertime.
That's great.
I mean, the place was always packed with lots of people, and it was a really fun place. I was thinking maybe that building could be something like that.
There's no parking. That's the problem. There's no parking there. That's the biggest issue with that building all around. But we had the use that we thought about it for was going to be great, but I don't think we could do it. But anyway, getting back to your thing, I mean, and then there's other properties that people fall in love with too. We find it with students where they're coming to us like, I really want to buy that property. I really want to buy that property, and you're like, why? Because I see it every day and I want to buy it, and that's not the way to do it. I often go out and I'll talk to somebody about a property. Like, let's say I'll talk to somebody property last week, and I couldn't close it. I couldn't get the guy to sell it to me at the moment. And then he'll call me this week, and this happens to me. He calls me this week, and he goes, hey, you still want to buy my property? And I go, which one? Because I have no idea which property he's even talking about at this point, because it's been a week ago. I've seen other properties. He calls me up and says, which one? And he goes, the one on Main Street. I go, which one? The one with the pink shutters. I go, oh, yeah, that one. He goes, whatever. He says, you offered me $100,000. Will you still give me $100,000? And I actually don't even remember what I offered him. And I said, yeah, it sounds like something I might offer you. I'll take it. And then we go take care of the paperwork. That's how much I don't care about the property. I care about the deal.
Okay. So let's talk about some investing ideas to make it happen to kickstart 2022.
2022.
Do you have any things that you're working on for 2022? Any new ideas?
So I got something interesting, and it's kind of an offshoot of what you're talking about. Do you know how many times you and I have told our students, and we've talked about it in the air, about putting silver and gold and cash aside, and having it in a drawer, having it in a safe, whatever, somewhere you can access it. We can have silver, gold, and cash. Did you hear what Canada did?
No.
So you know what's going on with the truckers, right?
Yeah, sure.
They have all the truckers. So apparently one day, the entire ATM network went down. In other words, no one was able to access cash. Banks were closed, and they weren't able to access. The citizens weren't able to access cash. They weren't able to access money from their ATMs, and you know why they did it, right? Now there's rumors.
I know that they were going to freeze the truckers' bank accounts.
Yeah, they froze everything. They didn't let anyone take any money. Now, whether they did it to freeze the truckers' bank accounts or whether they did it, it's just an accident, we don't know. But I will tell you that that's very scary to me. I mean, that child who's running that place, the child Trudeau, he absolutely would do that because he's that much of a child. And I'll tell you, that could happen here. So this is another thing.
Oh, it absolutely can happen here.
I actually expect it to happen here with the current administration if things keep going the way they're going. But here's what I suggest. I suggest you buy silver. I suggest you buy gold, and I suggest you have a stockpile of cash, maybe $5,000-$10,000, just to get you through, a couple of weeks, a month, just until maybe the system goes back online, or it never goes back online. Because if it never goes back online, then it doesn't matter. Cash is going to be useless anyway.
I think you should. That's a good list. You just add a few things to it.
Yeah, like bullets. Absolutely.
Right, like bullets.
Bullets,
Have lots
right.
of bullets.
Yep.
Okay, and have sufficient amount of bullets for each and every type of gun that you have.
Yes.
Because you don't exactly know what weapon is going to serve a certain circumstance. Okay, and then the other thing that I'm focused on is, kerosene or natural gas tanks.
That's a
You
good
can
idea,
you
too,
can
yeah.
buy I have a generator that
Yeah, me
can
too.
run on gasoline, but it can also run on natural gas.
So I have the generator, it's the all-house generator. It's hooked up to natural gas.
Mm-hmm.
That, so it pumps in. That way, typical thing, like if there's a storm, and it goes out for 2 or 3 days, we have a generator. But the natural gas system will eventually run out, and I won't be able to use that generator. I do have a portable generator that runs on gasoline, but that's going to be for just maybe my refrigerator, maybe
For a day or two.
I mean, so these are things that you have to keep in mind. And honestly, we're not conspiracy theorists. Well, maybe Phil is, but we're not conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
but I will tell you that these are good things to be prepared for, especially when everything is now. Everything works on a network on computers, and computers can be hacked, computers can be turned off, computers you can be held hostage. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of how long. Whether it's an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, or forever,
Right.
It's going to happen. So just be prepared for it.
Well, the only reason I haven't connected a generator directly to my system is because I foresee myself selling that house
Yeah, I'm
pretty
sure.
soon.
Yeah, you're going to Florida, right?
That's the idea.
Have you guys found anything yet?
Okay, well, because of my recent sale that I did the other day,
Yeah.
I've got half the money I need
That's
to
awesome.
buy the house for cash.
So I've been saying this before. Go look at houses and say you're buying it cash.
Yeah, I understand that. I'll just have to raise the rest.
Yeah, and
That's
you
all.
will.
Yeah.
That won't be hard for you.
Right.
Yeah, so
But I'm in a position where I have more funds coming to me than
Okay,
just that. So right
Good.
now I've got about $250,000 available, and then I have
and just cash.
these two just cash, and then I have two other buildings that have recently just been sold, with potentially two more being sold. So I think that I might have 100% of the money in maybe 3 or 4 more months.
That's awesome, man. All right, well,
And then it's time to go down there and
yeah, I think you should look now before the prices go up again.
we're in the middle of winter, and this is crazy time.
Okay, gotcha.
So,
Yeah, it also must be difficult for you to walk.
well, yeah, besides that, plus I'm going through this other surgery, but I'm thinking that summertime's going to be the smart time to go. So if
All
I
right.
go down there like May, June, and there'll be less people, there'll be less competition. Wintertime, everybody's down there, so
Yeah, I'm
it's
sure.
insanity. And
All right.
I'll make it happen in the summer.
Sounds good. All right, so but anything else? Some other investments. I would definitely say that there are certain stock investments. If you want to go there, certain stocks you should definitely buy. By the way, we should probably hit a commercial real quick. When do we take a commercial? Henry, take us out to commercial, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. This is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. You've been hearing our ads for 4 years now, and you still haven't attended a complimentary class. Go to Investor Schooling right now. Sign up for this Thursday night. If you have questions, you can call us at 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. Come this Thursday, complimentary class, learn real estate, learn stock option investing, and learn everything you've ever wanted to know about money. 215-876-3002, investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling, and you are invited to a special presentation on April 24th. That's right, we're having an all-day presentation with freedom and finances. We're going to have some special guests that are going to talk to you about how to be free with money and how to be free with your life. Make sure you go to the number4mmw.com. That's number4mmw.com. Sign up for tickets right now. You are going to be amazed at this amazing event. 4mmw.com. This is Larry Steinhaus, Investor Schooling. This is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Are you tired of being broke? If you're tired of being broke, go to investorschooling.com, sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday, and learn how not to be broke. That's right. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday. And if you have any questions, you can call us at 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. Go to investorschooling.com, sign up for this Thursday, and learn how not to be broke. investorschooling.com.
Phil Falcone here from Investor Schooling. One of the best decisions I've ever made in my life was to be a real estate investor. If you feel the same way, all you need to do is get your butt to investorschooling.com. If you want to learn this amazing business, just call 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. I'll be there to help you learn this business. See you at investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of the Biden economy? Do you want to learn how to thrive in the Biden economy? Because we're going to teach you that this Thursday night at Investor Schooling. So go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to thrive in the Biden economy. You could also call us at 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. Tell me you're tired of inflation. Investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Back.
All right, welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. Hey, let us know what you guys thought about those new commercials that Phil and I cut this week. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know if you're going to attend class now that we finally convinced you. And you can also call us at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Give us a call right now. Let us know if we can help you with anything, real estate, stock market, or anything else.
I'll tell you, in one of those commercials, your voice was getting a little high.
It was.
You sounded almost like a girl there, a little bit.
I'm not sure where to go with that.
There's nowhere to go with it. You
know?
just did. Your voice didn't sound right, but whatever. Either did mine. And one of them said investorschooling.com again. I don't know that I said that.
I don't know if I remember you not
Ken
saying
probably added it on there or something.
Probably because
Right.
it's just we have to make the commercials work.
So let's talk about some other ideas that you can make it happen to kickstart 2022.
All right.
What do you think about buying leads from companies that have a good track record of generating leads and selling them? Okay, like you could buy leads for the wholesale business. You could buy leads to be a realtor. Do you like those concepts?
So okay. So I assume what you're talking about is going to list companies like ListSource or Mailbox Power and buying lists. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I've been getting solicited by a lot of different companies right on Facebook who generate leads, okay?
Oh, I see what you're...
All right, and they want to sell you lead. They don't want to do the actual wholesale business. They
Right.
just want to get paid for doing what they're good at, which is generating leads.
So that's something different. You're talking about they're going to write your ads for you, like Facebook ads for you, and then get you leads off of those Facebook ads and funnel them back to you?
They do their own marketing.
Okay.
They generate the leads. They provide you with X amount of leads per month that you pay
Right.
for.
Right,
Right.
okay.
And in some of these companies, their costs are pretty reasonable, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
okay. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about. And yes, I like it.
Okay.
The only problem is my problem with these concepts is don't be lazy. And these kind of concepts make you lazy. If you're not out there actively being in the business and just want to pay somebody to give you leads, I promise you're probably not going to do very well, or you're probably going to fail because you're counting on someone else doing your business for you. That's an add-on. So one of the things that you always say, and it's absolutely true, is you need to shout to the world what you do. Mm-hmm. Right now, you're wearing your I Buy Houses shirt, right? I mean, we're on Facebook Live. People on the radio can't read your shirt, but the people on Facebook Live, on LinkedIn and Twitter, they can see your shirt, and you're shouting to the world what you do. When you walk down the street today, you're shouting to the world what you do. The only thing that would be better is if you put a mask on that said I Buy Houses.
I don't think I have a mask
I know
anymore.
that. I don't think I've ever had one.
Right.
Anyway, so the concept is is to shout to the world what you do. So if you're doing that and adding buying leads, yes, you're going to be extremely successful. But I'll tell you a funny story. It was about 15 years ago-ish when I was a real estate agent, and I was a very good real estate agent, as you know. I did a lot of business. My first year in the business, I did over $10 million in business, which is very unusual for a real estate agent. And I remember Realtor.com selling me ads. So they basically said, hey, buy a banner ad. And I was paying like $12,000 a year for this banner ad. And it was a great banner ad. And, I didn't feel that I was getting the results I wanted. So they go to renew it. And I, called them up and I canceled it. And they said, why would you cancel it? Now, my ad was pretty cool because it had most moving pictures where most of the ads were just still. It was, it was 15 years ago. Most people didn't know how to do this, and I knew how to do it. And they said, you have the most click-through rate of any ad we've ever put up on a banner ad. And I was intrigued. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So what do you think in a month, what do you think my click-through rate was if they're saying it was the most of any ad?
25 leads a month?
No. I'm talking about click-through. Forget about leads. I'm talking about like number of people who clicked it and actually went through to the ad, to the next ad.
I don't know. What do you want? I don't know.
I know, but they said it was the most they ever had. So think about that. What number came to your head?
125.
Yeah, well, so I thought thousands, right? The guy says 53.
53 leads.
53 leads. 53 people who clicked it, and I wouldn't even leads. It were just people who clicked it. So I was like, you know what? No way. Thank you very much. You just told me everything I need to know about Realtor.com advertising. It's the worst thing I could ever do. And that's what I advise also real estate agents who come to me and say, hey, what should I do? I don't think that's the place to do it. If you're doing that in addition to everything else you're doing and you get one lead out of it, great. But I don't think it's worth the 12, and probably more now. It's probably worth $20,000 a year now.
20,000 a year.
Yeah.
No. I mean, what actually attracted me to these companies, I started looking at their numbers, and in certain cases, I think their prices are incredibly inexpensive.
Yeah, and again,
And I think it's
going to work. Sure.
I think that they're actually going to do it. Until I get it going, I won't know. But I think they're actually going to provide the leads cheaper for me than I could do it myself.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I think I'm going to go for it.
So, like I said, I mean, you're doing everything else. So adding that to the things you're doing, yeah, that's great. But a lot of people, they go to one place and they have only one place for advertising. It's not going to work for them. It's just not going to work for them. They got to continuously do other things. I mean, when I was doing wholesaling, we were doing multiple different methods. We were mailing. We were doing the Facebook leads. We had the.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And money.
Oh yeah, a lot of work. Absolutely, I was doing $10,000 to $15,000 a month, spending on advertising for it.
Yeah.
Now it was great because I was pulling in anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 a month, so it was great. But you have to, and also you have to build to it because you're not doing business for the first 3 or 4 months. You're not getting anything.
Of course. Like any other business you start.
Absolutely right. That's why we had to change our commercials because it's about time.
Because we haven't changed them in like 2 years.
I think it was like 4 years.
It might be. Actually, you're right. It probably is 4 years.
Yeah.
'Cause whenever we started advertising, we created those ads, and they've been running ever since.
Yeah, I think we started advertising on PHT 4 years ago. We never changed the ad from the original ad.
Well, look, I'm definitely the kind of person, I don't overanalyze things. It looks to me like it's cheaper than I could do it myself.
Sure.
I feel very confident about that. So I decided to just go for it, and let's see what happens.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
could change my mind next month and cancel.
Absolutely.
Who cares?
Well, yeah, so the other thing, too, is, and I always say this, if you're going to try an advertising medium, make the commitment to try it for a minimum of 3 months.
Yeah, sure.
Because you don't know. Because the first month is a waste. Expect nothing from your first month of any advertising that you do at all. I mean, even when we put up the billboards for Investor Schooling, we expect nothing from it for the first month. Now they started. Now the leads are starting to come in from the billboards. Same thing with these new commercials. We're going to expect people to go, oh, I think I know who those guys are, and then all of a sudden they're going to realize who we are about a month from now. By the way, if you want to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. We'll talk to you about real estate. We'll talk to you about the stock market. We'll talk to you about Biden's economy. We'll talk to you about how to make more money, how to not lose money, and how to be in a better financial position. 855-939-1137. Feel free to call. All right. By the way, I was about to talk about some stocks that I might recommend coming up. Now, I normally do it at the end, but that's just these are stocks. These are stock option plays. But I'm going to recommend a lot of travel stocks, too. Uber is going to be a big one. Lyft is going to be a big one. AAL, CCL, RCL, all the travel stocks. The mask restrictions are going away. We're becoming less and less of a Nazi country now, and there's going to be no more. The restrictions will go away. Philadelphia is not asking for vaccine cards anymore. And I still don't know how anyone ever let that happen. But whatever, you guys are who you are. That's why I don't go to Philadelphia anymore because of that.
I actually haven't been there in like 2 years.
Yeah, of course, because
Except,
how could you?
I went to a basketball game once.
Yeah, just bring a crappy card that you could give up when they carjack you too.
Well, I'm a highly weaponized man.
No, I understand that, but it's easier to give the car up than it is to So I'll drive in. Maybe I'll drive in a piece of junk car and say, here, you can have it. You think I should drive in my Let's Go Brandon mobile?
Why not?
That would be fun.
So let's talk about this.
Hijacks that one.
We had a speaker here Thursday night.
Yeah.
Not Larry, but another Larry.
Another Larry, yes.
And he was going around the room looking for like motivational speeches or whatever he was doing. And when he got to me, I said, every day I think about what can make me the most money right now. And he said something like, well, we don't want to be blood-sucking vampires. And I thought, no, we do.
So it's funny you say that. I mean, I as soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, you obviously don't know Phil, because Phil is definitely a blood-sucking vampire.
I am. I wake up and I want to make money as soon as possible and as often as possible. And that's kind of the way I think. I met a bakery equipment salesman many years ago when I was in my 20s, and he used to just say to me, he goes, what'd you sell today? What'd you sell today? What the hell's, what's the matter with you? Every single day you should be selling something. Every single day you should be making money. And it just stuck with me, and I've always been like that, right? Now, the real estate business doesn't work that quick. You can't just snap your fingers and find a great deal. You have to work at it, but the point is work on things that are going to make you the most money as often as possible. So I have no problem with that statement, and if he thinks if Larry Feldman, was it?
Yes, Feldman, yeah.
If he thinks that I'm a blood-sucking vampire, fine.
Now, I do have to say that Larry Feldman, his background, he's just a car salesperson. So could you imagine him calling you a blood-sucking vampire?
Yeah, really. Really.
Hey, Larry, if you're listening, we're just making fun of you because we know we can. And if you want to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. But he all around, he's a pretty good guy. I like him.
Yeah.
I met him. He sold me my first Cadillac when I was in my 20s, my young 20s.
I heard that story Thursday night.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. So, what do we got here? We got something else here. I thought this was interesting. There was a question emailed to us. What formula do you guys use for wholesale deals?
Okay.
I actually like that. I think that's a great question.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's make it simple. Let's say the ARV, which is the after repair value, how much you can probably sell the property for. Let's use a number of 100,000 just to make the math easy, okay? And let's say it needs $20,000 worth of repairs, and everyone agrees on that. It's not like, I'm just using that to make it easy for you. So, Phil, what are you going to do? What are you going to offer to me if I'm selling you the property that has an ARV of $100,000 and it has repairs of $20,000? What offer are you going to make to me for that house?
Okay, so if the house's ARV, after repair value, you run the comps before you go to look at the house, and you know ahead of time that the house is worth $100,000. First thing you do when you get to the house is you walk around the outside, you walk around the inside, and you're going to estimate what you think the repairs are, and you've estimated $20,000, okay? So now you're going to take an $80,000 number, and you're going to multiply it by 0.70, right? And all you're doing there is factoring in the profit that you're going to make off of the property, and that's the formula.
Well, it's actually that's if you're buying the property, not if you're wholesaling it. So the maximum offer someone's going to offer you then is $56,000 based on those numbers. But the question is, what are you going to offer the person selling you the house so you can wholesale it and make $10,000? Obviously, the obvious answer is you've got to take another $10,000 off that price and make it $46,000 so that they can, so that you as a wholesaler can make the $10,000.
Well, I would do it a little differently because the first thing I would do is overinflate the repair cost.
Well, of course, but I just want to,
Right.
they're asking for the formula, and I want to be careful. And, and he's not saying make $20,000 repairs into 50. That's probably not what he's doing. Maybe 25, maybe 30.
Maybe like a 30.
Yeah, and the reason for that is, first of all, that's why I said before when I said the 20,000, I said we know it's 20,000 because we really don't know. When you do an estimate of repairs, you don't know. You take down a wall, or you open up a wall, and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, there's something back here that could cost me another $5,000. So you have to factor in a little bit of fluff money just to cover something you made a mistake on or something you didn't realize, or something else which happens right now, which is contractors that don't show up. And whether contractor doesn't show up, it costs you money. Not only you may have paid the contractor ahead of time a little bit of money, and hopefully you're not paying the whole thing up front. Don't ever do that. But it's also time. So if he doesn't show up and you don't owe him any money and he doesn't owe you any money back and he doesn't show up, now you have to have time to take and find another contractor, and that actually costs you more because this new contractor is not just going to take, let's say you with $10,000 into the job, he's not going to say it's $10,000 to finish the job. He's probably going to say it's $12,000 or $15,000 to finish the job because he has to mentally get into it and get back to where this other guy was.
Well, I thought we were talking about wholesaling.
Well, we are, but I said, that's where I came up with the 20 to 30,000 instead of just 20 for repairs. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I guess so.
Did I lose you?
No.
I know you were in pain there for a minute, so maybe I bored you.
Well, you can be boring sometimes.
Luckily, it's only sometimes.
Okay, so do you like any of these other questions? Do you teach other topics or just stocks and real estate?
Oh man, so stocks and real estate are the hot topics. So stock options and real estate are the hot topics. And when we tell you that we're going to teach you stock options and real estate, we are. But we teach you so much more about money. We teach you how to use your IRAs, how to use self-directed IRAs, how to retire, how to take a. I was listening to the show before us, and and look, they all give good advice. But I'm going to tell you the greatest piece of advice I'm going to ever give you if you have an IRA and you have to take RMDs, required minimum deposits, distributions, required minimum distributions. When you take these distributions, the whole concept is to make your account go down in value and you use it up. That's what the government wants you to do. They want you to pay taxes and use up your IRA. Well, what if you put $100,000? Let's say it was $1 million. Let's make it. I don't want to have a low number. Let's say you had $1 million in your IRA right now, and you started taking, whatever. You start taking these RMDs, and let's say it's $60,000 or $70,000 a year that you have to take out. Well, apparently your account goes down that $60,000 or $70,000. How would you like to have $1 million in your IRA, take out the $60,000 or $70,000, and have the $1 million go up? Well, that would be the best way to do it. And the greatest way to do this is buy real estate in your IRA. I don't think anyone out there, or most of the people out there, I'm going to say 5% of you out there, know that you could even buy real estate in your IRA. So you buy a building that's worth, and again, it could be multiple buildings too, but let's say it's worth $1 million, and it generates $60,000 or $70,000 a year in rent. You now take the rent, so the rent goes through your IRA, you take that as your RMD, and the building's still worth $1 million, and it's going up in value every year. So you basically bypass the concept of taking money out of your IRA. You now have income that you can use, you can spend, you can do whatever you want with, just like it would be any other retirement income, and your IRA value does not go down.
Nice.
And that's just some of the things we teach. Matter of fact, I wrote a book on it, Phil.
What's your book called?
My book is called Money Hacks, and it is a book, and I don't know if these guys can catch it online, but it's a book called Money Hacks, and it's subtitled because everything you think you know about money is wrong. I'm just going to read you some of the chapters in here because some of the chapters, it's amazing, right? So be your own bank, lend out your equity, how to choose stocks, how to buy houses with credit cards. Everybody out there ever buy a house with credit cards? I have. The right way to buy a car, because I bet you all don't know how to buy a car. You all think you do, but you have no idea. Oh, we should have talked to Larry Feldman about that way of buying the cars. But that's a great thing. Go to barnesandnoble.com and you can order it. Just look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhaus, and you can pre-order it. It's not even out yet. You can pre-order it. And if you want to give us a call, by the way, 855-939-1137. Why don't we play those cool new commercials again? And we'll see you in about a minute. Uh-oh, I think Henry's asleep at the switch. Run those commercials, man. This is Larry Steinmetz from Investor Schooling. You've been hearing our ads for 4 years now, and you still haven't attended a complimentary class. Go to Investor Schooling right now. Sign up for the...
Sorry, I didn't know we were playing those twice.
Don't worry. It's at 215-876-3002. 215-876-3002. Come this Thursday, complimentary class. Learn real estate, learn stock option investing, and learn everything you've ever wanted to know about money. 215-876-3002. InvestorSchooling.com. This is Larry Steinmetz from Investor Schooling, and you are invited to a special presentation on April 24th. That's right, we're having an all-day presentation with freedom and finances. We're going to have some special guests that are going to talk to you about how to be free with money and how to be free with your life. Make sure you go to the number4mmw.com. That's number4mmw.com. Sign up for tickets right now. You are going to be amazed at this amazing event. 4mmw.com. This is Larry Steinmetz, Investor Schooling. This is Larry Steinmetz from Investor Schooling. Are you tired of being broke? If you're tired of being broke, go to investorschooling.com, sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday, and learn how not to be broke. That's right, go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday. And if you have any questions, you can call us at 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. Go to investorschooling.com, sign up for this Thursday, and learn how not to be broke. investorschooling.com.
Phil Falcone here from Investor Schooling. One of the best decisions I've ever made in my life was to be a real estate investor. If you feel the same way, all you need to do is get your butt to investorschooling.com. If you want to learn this amazing business, just call 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. I'll be there to help you learn this business. See you at investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
This is Larry Steinmetz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of the Biden economy? Do you want to learn how to thrive in the Biden economy? Because we're going to teach you that this Thursday night at Investor Schooling. So go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to thrive in the Biden economy. You can also call us at 215-876-3002, 215-876-3002. Tell me you're tired of inflation. Investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday. All right, welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. I think my favorite one is the Biden economy commercial.
It's okay.
I think it's hysterical. It actually makes me laugh every time I hear it. All right, if you guys want to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, and you can talk to us about anything that has to do with money, real estate, stock options, the stock market, the Biden economy, or Phil's knee.
So I want to talk about the mastermind meeting.
Sure.
So we have several different kinds of classes here. On Thursday night, we do teaching, pure teaching, where we teach you strategies that you're going to need to learn to invest in real estate and in stock options. But the class that's really amazing is the mastermind meeting. So imagine that sometimes we have 40 people in the room, we've got 30 people online on Zoom, and you got 70 people like listening, and you can actually either dial in or be here in person, which is always the best. And you can ask questions about a deal that you're trying to put together, and maybe you're having a problem with it, right? And imagine having 70 other people who have a similar mindset to you, who have real estate experience, who have stock option experience, who can advise you. It's an incredible thing to watch. You basically sit there on Monday nights and you see people thinking their way out of any problem that comes up. It's a magical thing, you know? Like, nobody can operate in this business and just, you know, have all the answers. Everybody needs a little bit of help sometimes, including me. And sometimes I come here on Monday nights with questions. I come with my guns loaded. I have questions already. Like, I want to hear what other people are doing just to help me with whatever kind of problem I'm having. And
sure, and we've actually had some people show up. They're not students, and you know, they call me during the week. They have a question for me, and they're asking me something about we had the guacamole guy here a couple of weeks ago. You weren't here because you were out on surgery, but we had a guacamole guy here the other day. He came here and he wanted to talk about his guacamole business, and it was a really cool business. And he talked about it, and a bunch of people in the room gave him some advice which was pretty awesome. And he's taken some of that advice, and we're going to see where he's going to go with it. In fact, he actually teamed up with one of his students who might actually make him a partner in, I don't want to call it a restaurant because it's not, because it's really not. It's a kitchen that he's going to make his guacamole in, and then sell the guacamole to stores.
Yeah, it'll be a food production business. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I mean, things like this, and I'll tell you that some of those classes are pretty amazing because most of the time people coming in, they're expecting to hear about stock options, they're expecting to hear about real estate, and we do of course talk about those things. However, when we talk about something that's out of the ordinary, like the guacamole guy, it's great. It really is great.
Well, sorry, I missed the guacamole guy.
And the guacamole was really good. Yeah, Mike's Guac, I think it's called Mike's Guac. So if you guys want to look it up, feel free to do that. All right, what else we got going on here?
I don't know. Anything else you feel like talking about?
No, I feel like just leaving. I'm going to go home.
Okay. We did get a question that says, why is my home's assessed value different than the market value?
I hate this question because everybody asks me this question, and it's different in so many different ways. So the question is, why is my home's assessed value different than the market value? So sometimes you're going to get a tax bill, and your house is worth, let's say it's worth $300,000, and your tax bill says your assessed value is $400,000. Or your tax bill says your assessed value is $150,000, and you have no idea what that means. And most of the time, it's a calculation in mills, and I don't even want to get into the calculation of mills, but sometimes it is attached to the sales price of your home. And that's rare because they want to confuse you. The tax office wants you to be confused. So if you paid $300,000 for your house and you're using an assessed value that's 1-to-1, which means that it's assessed at $300,000 because that's what you paid for it, those are the easiest ones to figure out. Because basically what's happening at the tax office is they're saying, hey, if we don't make it easy to figure out, then people won't appeal their taxes. So if you buy a house for $300,000 and the Biden economy makes the house be worth only $200,000, well, why are you paying taxes on a $300,000 asset? You should be paying taxes on $200,000. So that should be easier to lower your taxes. But now they have these complicated formulas that make it difficult. But I'm going to tell you the best thing to do with these complicated formulas is not even use them. Just have a real estate agent or somebody who has access to the MLS, maybe an appraiser, run comps and find out what similar houses are paying in taxes. If they're paying less than you, then you go to your tax office and appeal it every year until you get it right. Now, there are some lawyers who will do it. You ever get a letter from the lawyer that says, well, appeal your taxes? They'll do it. And if you want to do it, that's fine. They typically charge you 2 years. It usually comes to about 2 to 3 years of the amount of money you save to pay them. So I'm not even sure if it's worth it. But
doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, right. So if you can do it yourself, and it's one form you fill out, you take the comps, you attach it, and then you go and you appeal it. I've appealed it twice, and I've won twice. But it's not.
You're not making $1 million.
No. It was just one was ridiculous, where they overpriced the house so much, and then I bought it less, and it happened to be a 1-to-1 where I had paid. I don't remember what I paid for it, but let's say I paid $300,000 for the house, and they assessed the house at $450,000, and I knew I could get that one lowered, and I went and it got lowered, and it was funny because the tax assessor calls me up and goes, "What do you mean you paid $300,000 for this house?" I go, It needs $150,000 worth of work." So he was okay with it, and he lowered the taxes.
Hooray!
Yeah, exactly. And then there was another one I got a couple of grand off too, but it's not that much. I would do it. You save some money, but at the same time, don't go crazy over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where I don't know that it's worth the time either. A lot of times I look at things and I'm like, do I really want to get involved in this? Like one thing that I do beat up people is insurance estimates. When I get a deck page every year,
Sure.
I always call the guy and
You're trying to make it lower? Yeah.
Oh yeah. But that's easy. That's a phone call.
Right.
You just call them. They usually always answer the phone, and you beat them up a little bit.
Yeah, because they'll find you either a different policy or trim your coverages a little bit.
Right.
So with this, this is really good for people who are on fixed budgets, or people who are, they're not making a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So and then their taxes go up. Let's say we're paying $6,000 now, they're paying $7,000. It's a substantial increase for some people, and not for you and I, of course. So don't discount the fact that this doesn't save money. It does. I mean, you and I have dozens and dozens and dozens of properties. I bet you that if we did it with every single property, we'd probably save $10,000-$15,000 a year. But is it worth our time? That's the difference.
it's always something I think about. Like, before I make a phone call to somebody, I think to myself, do I really want to get involved in this?
Right.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I have one property in Drexel Hill. Drexel Hill, $14,000 a year in taxes. I mean, really? It just amazes me. And this house isn't even that great. It's $14,000 a year in taxes. Where are they coming up with this? Are they out of their minds? I don't even pay that for my primary residence. Mm-hmm. And my primary residence, look, it happened. So this house, happens to be. It's an unusual house because I bought it. Fall in love with the deal, like we talked about before. I got a really good deal on this house. It's a 5-bedroom, 4.5 bath house, and I got a couple of families living in there. That they share it basically, and they're paying really good rent because it was a really good deal. But I probably would have never bought this house if the deal wasn't so good. All right, where do you want to go, Phil?
Why don't we go to the stock option Sultan? Is he around?
I'm thinking that's a good idea. Well, let's find out. All right. Stock option Sultan.
Stock option Sultan. Stock option Sultan.
By the way, did you see the billboard yet on 95 for the stock option Sultan, Phil?
I saw the picture of the billboard.
Isn't that cool? So if you guys have seen the billboard, we'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of the billboard. 855-939-1137 is our calling number. 855-939-1137. All right, you guys want to write this down? I'm going to say Wednesday. My prediction is Wednesday, 11 o'clock. You know what that is?
Nope.
That's when the war starts. Wednesday, 11 o'clock. And when that happens next week, the Dow is going to drop 1,000 points, the Nasdaq's going to drop 500, and the S&P is going to drop 200.
My prediction is there's not going to be a war.
Well,
What's going to happen is they're just going to let them march in and take it.
So that's my belief too. I don't even believe it needs to go to that.
That's what happened in the past.
Yeah, I think that Russia just knocks on Ukraine's door and says, "Hey, let us in," and they go, "Please come in, don't kill anybody," because why? I mean,
right.
That's like you having a pistol and there's 20 robbers with shotguns saying, what do you want to do? You want to defend yourself, or you want us to just take your stuff? You're going to hand them your stuff, and that's basically what it looks like to Ukraine.
I mean, I haven't looked up my history of the battles between the Soviet Union and the Ukraine, but I could tell you this. My memory says they just walked in twice already. They did.
Hey, I know. And also Crimea. Hey, real quick, we got Bill on the line. What's going on, Bill? We got about 2 minutes.
Oh, hi. Guys, I wanted to ask you hear these commercials all the time from insurance companies selling insurance against home title fraud or home title theft. Have you any experience with that? Have you ever experienced somebody stealing?
It's a new phenomenon.
It sounds too easy to me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a new phenomenon where people are basically going to title companies saying that they own the property and they're signing off and they're signing off the deed, and somebody else is buying the property and then they now think they own it. I haven't had any experience with those type of title theft insurance companies. I think they're timely, and I think it's a brilliant business model. I don't know if you need it specifically. So, that's really what it comes down to, is whether you need it or not.
Does anybody need it? I don't know how you can just get a form of they say you can just go online, with the county and everything's, all the deeds and what have you are available. And then somebody gets I guess it's called a quick claim deed or something like that.
And that's the problem. People should not be buying quick claim deeds. I'm sorry, I'm rushing you only because we have about 2 minutes. But people should not be buying quick claim deeds. Don't make that mistake. You go through a title company and you do it the right way. Bill, I'm going to say you probably, and I can't, I don't know your whole situation, but just based on quick conversation, you probably don't need it. But I would just double check with with your family and make sure that everything else is cool. And come to Investor Schooling on Thursday.
All right, take care.
You got it. All right, real quick, getting back to the stock market. So there's a couple of bargains out there. Meta is a bargain. It's a 205. It's a bargain. However, I do think it may drop a little more. And if it does, it's okay. Don't get panicked, because I think it's going to come back, and I think it's going to come back quick. Apple, another one, going to come back quick. Now, all the oil stocks are going to pop next week when Russia does knock on Ukraine's door. And of course, we've got we've got the bonds moving down a little bit, which is kind of weird too. The bonds actually moved down. It's the 10-year Treasury is at 1.92, although I'd like to still see it below 1.75. That would help. Gold and silver are starting to move up too. I don't know. Real quick, I told you before, Uber is a great play. AT&T is a great play. These are stocks to hold. These are buy and hold stocks. Also, possibly stocks to sell covered calls on. And if you want to learn how to sell covered calls, it's like buying covered calls is like buying a house and renting it. You're buying stocks and you're renting it out week after week. All right, we got about 40 seconds. Phil, why don't you take us out?
All right, so thanks to our producer, Omri, and also Henry Mache for helping us out today. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor on this show, you can email us at info@investorschooling.com, info@investorschooling.com. Don't forget to visit investorschooling.com for your free class this Thursday night at 7 p.m. on real estate investing and stock option investing. That's investorschooling.com. And if you behave yourself, we might invite you to another complimentary class.
And that's it. We'll see you guys next week.
This program is a paid commercial announcement and in no way represents the views of WPHT